Howdy there, guys, and welcome back to Edgar TV, where it's that unfortunate time of year for many dart players, the time when tour cards are going to be lost. They've still got the opportunity to get them back. We'll have to go to Q School that starts in January after the World Championships, and if they do get their tour cards back, they will start again from zero. It's not a continuation of their tour card like as a third year. If you want that third year or fourth year, whatever that's going to be, you need to be in that top 64 at the conclusion of the World Championships, which does mean that there's going to be more players on top of this list that will lose their tour card. I'll update you on who they are after the World Championship, so make sure you are subscribed to Edgar TV. I'll also be letting you know who is in a position at the moment to lose their tour card and what round they would need to make at the World Championship in order to keep it. That video is coming very soon right here on Edgar TV. But what we're going to do, we're going to run through some of the players that you may recognise who are not going to have a tour card as things stand in 2024. One of them is Nathan Rafferty, a young man from Ireland. He had a big chance really at the Grand Slam of Darts, so a run there would have probably have kept his card, but he went out in the round robin stage. 10-time winner on the development tour. You'd expect that Rafferty is going to be one of the favourites to get his tour card back when he goes to Q School. Danny Jansen started off so well on the PDC Tour. He actually won a Pro Tour event. He won his opening game at the Alexandra Palace as well. So that's like £27,000 just from those two events. So disappointing there over 2 years to see Danny Jansen come out of the top 64, not make the top 64. Darius Labanauskas, someone who has been in the top 64 for some time now, someone I've got a bit of history with at the World Championships, but only picked up £11,250 on the floor this year. If you're going to keep that tour card over 2 years, you've got to be making the World Championships. 11 and a quarter is not going to cut it in those floor events. Labanauskas misses out. Scott Weit is someone that got a tour card and then lost it, then won it back, and has lost it again. 2-time winner of the BDO World Championships, the Lakeside, but only managed 49,050 after deductions that will come at the back end of the World Championships. Only appeared at Alexandra Palace the once, so disappointing return there for Scott Wait. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Richie Benett, somebody who I think is going to potentially not go and get that tour card back, or he might go to Q School, and if he doesn't get it, maybe then he'll decide not to pursue the PDC. With things now like the Seniors Tour, Richie Benett's shown what he's capable of this year when he reached the quarter-final of the UK Open, and maybe with what we're seeing with Richie is he could maybe go on to that Seniors Tour and be one of the big forces on there, joining the likes of Leonard Gates and Robert Thornton as being people that might dominate that Seniors Tour and that Seniors events. John OShea, a winner of the BDO Masters in 2019, did get to Alexandra Palace last year for a debut, lost to Darius Labanauskas in a very high entertaining game, but at the cut-off point will only have 47,075, which is not enough. You need to be, it's going to be looking more towards the sort of 70 mark over those 2 years now, the way that the prize money has changed. Another young man, though, going to be missing out on his card. He's already announced on social media that he will be going to try and regain that card after many years on the tour now is Ted Everts. He's a player who's dominated the youth tour a few years ago when he was still on the development tour. 14 youth titles, and he also won the 2021 Youth World Championship, or Development Tour Championship, however you want to word that one. Did start this year okay. He had a 5th round at the UK Open, which was kind of a good chunk of prize money that maybe gave him encouragement to think, right, if I can get in the Worlds and get in the Players' Championships, which is kind of what you need to do with this tour card, Players' Championships and the Worlds. That is doing well on the floor events to be in the top 64, and a couple of European Tour events, really. That will get you into those events. That is £10,000 guaranteed, so £20,000 over the 2 years. One win at the World Championship, you've pretty much done half of it already. So then you've got the rest of the events, so 30 Players' Championships and those 13 European Tours, for which you can then try and find that extra bit that you need to regain or keep that tour card and get that 1 year extension on top. Jeff Smith won the North American Championship. A rule change means that he's not going to be in the World Championship this year. and he's not coming back. He said after 4 years, he's going to play darts on his own terms now. The problem now with the midweek pro tours, the travelling all the time from Canada, he's now going to stay over in America and play the CDC. I think it's something now where we're seeing darts develop in America and Canada, where we're looking at things like the CDC, the opportunity now to come over and play at the Alexandra Palace as well, chances to play in the Grand Slam of darts, chances to play at New York for the North American Championship. So plenty of opportunities now for players in America that they don't have to be backwards and forwards, and especially now with those midweeks. So Jeff Smith is a casualty of the tour, losing his tour card, and he won't be coming back in 2024. So he won't be taking that place up at Q School, which you do get an advantage of. So as you lose your tour card, Q School's in 2 phases. Anyone who enters, so let's say Dave Smith, the most generic name I could think of, enters Q School, he's got to go in at phase 1. However, the top players off the Challenge Tour, Development Tour, and those losing tour card holders come in at round 2, which is the top 128, the main bit where the card's given out. So refusing to take that little bit of an advantage there in terms of trying to get that tour card back. James Wilson is a player who literally got his tour card back at the very first day of Q School. Lost his tour card, went to Q School, got it back. Remember loads of memes going up, you know, the one where the Simpsons walk in, they hang the hat up and they walk around. Loads of them popping up. But James Wilson only managing £28,750. I think he's going to go again to try and get that tour card. But it's going to be a very interesting Q School this year. Ross Montgomery, will he go for it again? He was a BDO stalwart for many years. Very surprising that he even attempted Q School a couple of years ago. He got the tour card. Hasn't been a successful hunting ground for him on the PDC. Just £25,000 over 2 years, which would suggest he's probably made a loss during his time on the tour. Wouldn't be surprised now to see him look at maybe moving over to the Seniors Tour, which I think the Seniors Tour is really going to benefit when we look at the players that are going to be coming off the tour this year. Highest profile name though, and the player with the most longevity has to be Devon Peterson. He won his tour card again in 2015. He's held it for 8 years. During that time, he's played 8 World Championships. He was a European Tour winner in 2020. Got into the top 32, was pushing towards the top 16, but just completely fell off a cliff. Ends his tour card with 21,500 after deductions that will be coming. When January comes around, 21,000. That'll be a disappointing result there for Devon Peterson. I do expect Devon Peterson will go to Q School to try and regain it back. So, again, he'll come in at that second round phase. As will all of these players who have also lost their PDC Tour privileges. Some names here you'll recognise, such as Bradley Brooks, player who won the World Youth, played a good game against Willie Borland at the World Championship a couple of years ago. That was the game that had the big 9-dart finish in there. A couple of disappointing ones here though. Nick Fulwell, £10,250. Vladimir Anderson, £9,500. That's over 2 years. So maybe reassessments for the players at the bottom end there. But they are the players that we know so far that have lost their tour cards. These are guarantees. I'll try and keep you updated when we know if players are going to try and regain them back. That will all be done on Edgar TV, so make sure you are subscribed. And I'll keep you up to date with players as it goes. Who's going to be losing tour cards on top of that, because there's players in the World Championship that need some sizable runs. That video is coming soon. Right here on Edgar TV.